What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Chelsea-Liverpool preview here on Anfield Agenda. And to say that I'm absolutely hanging is probably an understatement. But you know what? I've only got myself to blame, don't I? Ladies and gentlemen, delighted to say that today's preview has been brought to you with thanks to our friends at Spitch. If you don't know what Spitch is, let me take a second to let you know. Spitch is the ultimate fantasy football Premier League game. Well, just the ultimate fantasy football manager game, I should say. We'll start that again. If you don't know what Spitch is, let me tell you without making a mistake. Spitch is the ultimate fantasy football manager game. You can play for free with a new team, different pitches and competitions every single game week, winning prizes from the prize pool. The game's conducted in classic fantasy football style, choosing your team from the allocated budget and scoring points based on things such as goals, assists and clean sheets. All you need to do is be age 18 or over and be a resident of the UK to be able to play. The link is in the description of the stream, and as I said, you come with lots of prizes every single week. Right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we? I know I can see a couple of unhappy faces already about the results today. And look, I was in the lab, I was in bed all day, but I did see the last ditch winner, shall we say, for Manchester City against Arsenal. Yeah, so that's where we are. So we know what we have to do. We have to try and go to Stamford Bridge tomorrow and get the points. Now, normally when I do these previews, what I do is I come in, I put up a team on screen, we chat about it, I talk about my score prediction, all this kind of stuff, but I quite simply just couldn't do it for this one. For a couple of reasons. Yes, Connor's away, but that being said, we just don't know who's available, because the rumour is that there's people out with COVID. In fact, we know that there's 3 out with COVID most likely. And Jurgen Klopp looks like he's returned what I deem as probably a positive antigen test, and he'll be awaiting the results of a PCR test. So Jurgen Klopp will not be on the sidelines at Stamford Bridge for the game tomorrow. On top of that, the reports, if they are to be believed, looks like maybe Alisson, Firmino and Keita are the players who are out. So yeah, and then we take to that Thiago's still injured, that we take to that Divock Origi's injured. Of course, we've got Harvey Elliott out as well. It's not great. It's not great going into such a big game, is it? I believe Salah is available. This will be the last game for Salah and Mane before they head off to the AFCON. So I don't know where to go with it. I can't have an 11 to bring up on screen, but hey ho. So look, let's see how you guys feel about it. Let's see if we can start to piece together a team, because if Alisson's out, then surely it's going to be Caoimhin and Kelleher that takes his place. At least, yes, it has to be Caoimhin and Kelleher. So we'll go with Caoimhin and Kelleher. At right back, it looks like we're going to have Trent. Left back, obviously Robbo. This is the last game. It was a 3-match suspension, so Robbo won't be available. So Costa Simicas at left back, and then centre back pairing. I honestly have no problems whether it's Van Dijk and Matip or Van Dijk and Canade. I'm sound either way. So whatever Klopp goes with. Well, yeah, it will be Klopp, won't it? Even though Pep will be on the sidelines, it will be Klopp who ultimately picks the team. In midfield, then, that's where the real headaches come, isn't it? It's looking like we'll probably see a similar midfield trio that started the last game. So Fabinho, Henderson and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain would be my guess. And then up top, again, probably no changes. Mane, Jota, Salah. That's, with the players that are out and missing, that's probably the best we can do. The rat who plays Danger Rumpus said, greetings from Florida, you legend. Have we seen City become the Bayern of the Bundesliga? The lead looks like enlarging. That's what he said. That's what he said in the super chat, by the way. I'm not just putting that out there. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, my man. And thank you for the super chat. And thank you for your thoughts. And yeah, look, it is difficult when you look at Manchester City grinding out wins like they did today. You look at their squad and the depth of their squad. And yeah, it's a daunting prospect. But if there's one thing we know about Jurgen Klopp and this group of Liverpool players, is that they won't quit, that they won't give up, and that they will keep going until it's mathematically impossible. But it's difficult. It is difficult. Now, if we can get the win tomorrow against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and then the fact that Chelsea play Manchester City in a few weeks, there could be a chance to start clawing back some points. And we do have a game in hand as well. It's important we point that one out. Keane said last night's stream was fun. Was it? I don't know, mate. All I did was get up today and say to my missus, I didn't do anything too silly, did I? Didn't say anything too stupid. Not going to be cancelled today. And apparently it was all right. So, yeah, apparently we did okay last night. We got through it together. Alonso and I don't know what the Dav wing backs tomorrow. So I'm a Chelsea fan. Yeah, well, look, actually, mate, while you're in here, Joe, as a Chelsea fan, I say this to everybody. I don't like seeing players injured. So the fact that Chilwell is out for a long time, wish him a speedy recovery. And look, it's going to be an interesting game at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd love a shout from you, Joe, about how you're feeling about the Lukaku situation. Obviously, you'd seen the interview with Sky Italy where he spoke about the fact that he wants to go back to Inter at some point. And look, I'm not going to hang Lukaku out to dry here, but the Inter fans, the Inter ultras, did you see that they undone banners that said, "We don't want you back, you took Chelsea's riches, boy," which must be a dent for Lukaku, because you could hear how fondly he was speaking about his time playing for Inter and how he credits Antonio Conte and Inter with rebuilding his career to some extent. So to see the Inter ultras just basically said they don't want him back must be difficult, because he spoke about wanting to move back to his flat in Italy at some point, and his mum there and his son and stuff. So yeah, Pep Linders, Steve. Pep Linders will be the manager on the bench tomorrow. And I will have Paddy Murphy and Chris Stonage with me at 8:45 tonight. We'll go through some transfer stuff as well, because I know you guys will want to be asking about that one. Yes, both sides are missing key players, Jonah, tomorrow. Which, it's a shame, isn't it? Because where COVID and football is right now, we're going to see this happen in some of the big games, you know, whether it be Liverpool or Chelsea, Liverpool, or whomever it might be. What you want in these games are both sides to have their best players available, and that we get the spectacle that we all hope for. As football fans, you kind of feel a little bit robbed, don't you, when maybe Chelsea are going to miss some of their best players, we're going to miss some of our best players. It just feels like a box-ticking exercise rather than us getting to see the spectacle that we hope for. But it is what it is. With the way the world is right now, we've just got to keep trying to put the points together and see where we are. And again, for those coming in saying who's got COVID, it hasn't been declared by the squad, by the club. But if you're looking at the training pictures and stuff like that, the smart money would be on Alisson, Firmino and Keita. And obviously Jurgen Klopp today, it looks like he probably gave a positive antigen test and is awaiting the results of a PCR, which either way will rule him out of the game tomorrow. I don't think he'd even get those results back. Cameron said, honestly, Craig, I'm deflated for this season already. I hope you're doing well, though. I'm in a good place myself, yes. In that sense I am, but I'm with you. I don't want to say I'm feeling deflated, because there's a lot of football still to play. There's an awful lot to play. And look, this sounds like I'm making an excuse, but I'm not. If you go back and watch my streams from the start of it, yes, of course I want us to do well in the league, and of course I want us to be challenging, but I've always thought that our best chance of silverware, like of the top two, the Premier League and the Champions League, was always the Champions League this season, because I feel like we're very difficult for anyone to dispose of over two legs, and I just don't think we have the squad to be able. I don't think anybody, even Chelsea, with the players that they have and the depth that they have, none of us can really keep up with Manchester City over a 38-game season without everything going our way, i.e. a little bit of luck with injuries. You add into that COVID now, of course, and the busy fixture schedule with the AFCON coming up, and some teams are going to be more impacted than others. But then again, none of this is an excuse, because you know all of this going into the season. So I think where this comes to all of us is the fact we just feel we knew we needed to bring in some bodies in the summer, and yet again, apart from Canade coming in, we just we look like we're lacking now. And I want to get onto a conversation tonight, by the way, when I've got Chris and Paddy with me, around Thiago. So remind me of that later on tonight if I forget, because, you know, the way my head is today, there's every chance I'll forget. Joe said, wouldn't be surprised if Lukaku was dropped tomorrow for Kai Havertz, Timo and Silva back and available. Yeah, I mean, I think what Thomas Tuchel said was probably right, Joe. You know, just wasn't helpful. Whatever way you look at the Lukaku situation, and yes, of course, in these interviews, little segments can be pulled and people can be made to look bad. And I don't know, really, if Lukaku was just, you know, trying to mend some fences with the Inter fans. But either way, as your manager said, mate, it just wasn't helpful, was it? What have we got? Happy New Year. By the way, yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry, I probably should have started the stream with that one. That's where my head is today anyway. But yes, Happy New Year to all of you. I mean, 2021 was a bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? But here's hoping that we have some light at the end of the tunnel for 2022, and that it's a year filled with health, happiness, prosperity for everybody, and hopefully a bit of silverware for the Reds as well. Jack said, Craig, the title race is not over. I don't know what everybody's talking about. It's half the season and City will drop points. They will drop points, Jack. They will. But if we take the first half of the season, just as an example, right now, Manchester City, just about halfway, maybe just over halfway through the season, are on an 11-game win streak. 11. With everything that's thrown at clubs right now, with COVID, with injuries, with the really congested fixture schedule, and they're pulling clear. So, yes, I do agree with you. Of course, it's not over, but it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to claw it back. But look, I feel like tomorrow is the first step. I mean, we all feel a little bit deflated after the Leicester game because, you know, Kasper Schmeichel had heroics, Salah missed a penalty, Mane missed a good opportunity, and it was just one of those games. But we've seen this movie play out many times before, haven't we? Where we have frustration, we're left scratching our heads, but ultimately we should have won that one. You woke up at 5 p.m. Ooh, you're a bit behind me, Callum. I woke up at, I think, 4 today, although I was still wandering around the house at about 8 this morning. What else is there? And again, to Joe as well, the Chelsea fan. Top man, Joe. Appreciate all your input there and your view from a Chelsea perspective. Reece James is out. Pulisic or who's that? Callum Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. Mane will be having fun. Well, I hope he is having some fun, my friend, because he hasn't been having a lot of fun lately, Sadio. Where do we all feel, or how do we feel about the Sadio situation right now? Because it's so difficult. We've seen these lads give us amazing moments and give us their heart, basically. Like, they've worked and they've done everything, but, you know, time waits for nobody. And I wonder, is Sadio just on the decline a slight bit now, or is he just going through a prolonged sticky patch? It's a difficult one, because there are some aspects of his game that are class, and I just don't know. I just feel like he might need a goal or two. I'd like to, maybe I should discuss this after he gets himself a couple of goals. Salah doesn't have COVID, Mo, so that's bullshit number one. From what we're believing, mate, from what we've seen, it's most likely Keita, Firmino and Alisson. Will the Premier League continue? It looks as though it will, Dara. It certainly looks as though there's no plans to stop it now. And look, I'll say what I did back at the time, mate. I don't want the Premier League curtailed or cancelled if they can play it through. You know, same way when we were winning the league and people were trying to cancel it. I think if possible we should play through, obviously with the caveat that players need to be looked after. Mick said, what is Spitch? Well done, Mick. You've led me into a nice little 10-second ad read. So, Mick, Spitch is the ultimate fantasy football manager game. You can play for free with a new team, different pitches and competitions every single week, winning prizes from the prize pool. The game's conducted in classic fantasy football style, choosing your team from the calculated budget and scoring points based on things such as goals, assists and clean sheets. You have to be a resident of the UK and age 18 plus to play, and the link to download Spitch is in the description of the stream. Thank you, Mick. Right. Is Curtis Jones injured? No, he's not injured. He was on the bench for the last game. So no, Curtis Jones will be available. But with the amount of time that he's missed, I would suggest we're most likely to see Curtis Jones from the bench as an option for the gaffer tomorrow. I don't think he'll start after being out that long, even with the issues that we have. So if I was to have a guess at our midfield tomorrow, as I said earlier, I'm probably Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Hendo again. How are you, Craig? I'm a little bit shaky, Alex. Oh, I won't lie, mate. I'm a little bit hungover and a bit shaky. What's the prediction for tomorrow's game? I'm going to go optimistic, as I always do. And as hard as it's going to be, I'm going to predict a 2-1 win for Liverpool. But I don't really say that with much conviction, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's a game that could be 1-1. It could be 2-1 to Chelsea. I'd be very shocked if either team ran away with the game tomorrow. But I think you can definitely make an argument for a goal either way. Jamrock, how are you, my friend? And Happy New Year to you. Said per play, not squad depth is why we are where we are. I don't think... Well, I get where you're coming from, my man, but I think the two may go hand in hand, because the poor play would at times come from a lack of fitness, a lack of options. So for Thiago as an example, and I'll go into this in more detail tonight, I think he's like He's probably only available for like 50-60% of games in a season, if even that. Hendo has had his cold and hasn't been at his best. He wasn't great in the last game really either. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think, look, for me, I just think we're still lacking that one forward especially. I think we could probably just about make do with midfield with things the way they are, although I, like many others, would have liked a Genie replacement. But look, we'll have to wait and see. Am I right in saying that Tierney's on VAR tomorrow, by the way? I'm almost certain that I heard that Paul Tierney's on VAR tomorrow. In which case, I don't like, maybe the fact that Klopp won't be there, maybe Paul Tierney will actually, do his best to officiate the game from the VAR room in a decent way. It's been lack of concentration at times, said Jamrock. Well, I will certainly agree with you defensively there, mate, sometimes, yes. I mean, if we take the Leicester goal as an example, that's probably a perfect screenshot of the mistakes that we are capable of making and conceding from. So Trent obviously caught high up the pitch, didn't track back. Lookman could have been stopped 2 or 3 times. I don't like the fact that Alisson was beaten at his near post, I won't lie. I mean, the way Van Dijk slid his leg across, you could see that he was trying to block Lookman from going into the far corner. So, yes, definitely has been a lack of concentration, mate. I can't argue with you on that. And Happy New Year again to everybody coming in. Where's the stream from last night? I hid it. That's where it is, Bish, because when I finished the stream, I just thought, you know what? I don't know what I said on this stream. I can't remember any of it. So I hid it. Just to be safe, you know what I mean? Do you think Linders will keep the 4-3-3 tomorrow? Yes, 100%, Max. Now, he may tweak it during the game, of course, but ultimately I think it'll be Jurgen Klopp's team selection and system that goes out onto the pitch. Rabadan, how are you, my man? Said City will lose Mahrez to the AFCON, that's it. How will they cope with such a loss? Yeah. In a position where they have so few options. Poor Pep. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Like, we know that we have a good contingent of African-based players who are some superstars in our team. Salah, Mane, Kate is brilliant when he's on form. And yeah, look, it is what it is. We knew this going into the season, though. That's the thing. I don't want to use the AFCON as an excuse whatsoever, because we and the club were well aware it was happening. And, we wish the lads the best with their respective countries. Hope that they go and then do as well as they can. But yeah, we certainly knew it was coming. And it's frustrating. But it is what it is. And as you said, yes, we're losing Mahrez, who's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But when you've got the options they have with Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? What have we got? I went back and watched highlights from all of our losses and draws. West Ham, Brighton, Tottenham, Leicester, Brentford, City, all per decisions. As I said, Jamrock, I'm not disagreeing with you, my man. We scored enough goals, though, so we must be just not seeing out some of the games. Look, it's mad. We've lost 2 games in the first half of the season, but the draws are probably what's gonna cost us ultimately. Potential to play the 3/5 tomorrow. I don't think that they'll change that up, Bish. I don't think that for a game this big, he'll change it up. But maybe, I mean, we have the personnel to be able to do it. That's the thing. Right now, we have 4 fit first-choice centre-backs. So if we wanted to play 3 at the back, yes, we have the options to do it at the minute, but I just don't think that we will. Have we any transfer news for us? 8:45 is the transfer stream, Shay, tonight. And tomorrow at 8:45, I'm going to be joined by the guy from LFC Transfer Room again for a stream. So that'll be good. Tonight it's Chris and Paddy, and Chris will give us any of the stuff he has from LFC Transfer Room. But then tomorrow, Charlie and the lads will be back again from LFC Transfer Room, and we'll go through everything in more detail. And also, I'd love your feedback on Twitch as well, if any of you get a chance, because as I said, I purposely haven't taken on sponsors for the watch-alongs for the remainder of the season. I think we've got 2 games left, maybe we have sponsors on, because I want to be able to trial some more games on Twitch to see what the feedback is like and what match days are like on there. Because I'll tell you honestly, what the thing I've liked about Twitch the most so far, apart from the platform being good and set up for live streaming, is that we've got a go-to person there. So we've got somebody we can actually physically call and have a chat with from Twitch, which is a great help to us, because, anybody who has a YouTube channel will know that, you're always on edge a little bit because yes, you can send emails and get a little bit of response back at times, but ultimately with YouTube, you're thinking this channel could be removed from us at any point for anything, and that's it. Everyone's livelihoods, all the lads that we employ, are out the window. So, got to just look at it for the best thing for the platform and the channel, I suppose. There was a super chat from Callum that I missed. Love to you as well, Callum, and to your family, and I hope you had a great night last night as well. I don't remember much about mine, buddy, in all honesty. Puskas is a god said Tottenham away, City and Chelsea weren't actually bad draws. It was the Brentford and Brighton games which were a disaster. Yeah, the Brentford game particularly, I remember myself and Connor were in London for the AJ fight that weekend, and Jack, I think, was doing the watch along, and I remember kept checking the score and we kept inching back ahead and then pinned back, and it certainly was frustrating. Egyptian TV said Mo has COVID. I tell you, they would if Mohamed Salah does have COVID, mate, and look, again, I don't know if he does or doesn't, but if he does and the Egyptian TV are giving out his medical history without his say-so or the club say-so, that's a data breach right there. So I think they'd have to be very careful about it. That's why when I was saying earlier on, to my understanding, if you're just looking at those who weren't at training, the smart money would be on Alisson, Firmino and Keita, but we'll have to wait and see. Score prediction. As I said, I think there'll be one goal either way. You could absolutely see a draw. You could see a win for Chelsea by a goal. You could see a win for Liverpool by a goal. I don't think it's going to be either team winning by 2 or 3 tomorrow. But we'll have to wait and see. We need a sub for Mane. 100% agree. We need another attacking option, definitely. But I don't think we'll be signing it in January unless something drastically changes. But that's what tonight's for. When is Harvey Elliott back? Well, look, he's at the latter stages of his rehabilitation program right now. I think James Pearce said it was 5 months was probably the time frame. I would say you'll probably see Harvey back, do more training stuff this month, maybe the end of this month, start of next month perhaps when he gets back on the pitch. But the club won't rush it, and they're right not to, because, you know, Harvey Elliott is going to be here for many, many years to come, and it was a nasty fracture or dislocation of his ankle, excuse me, that look, I'm just glad he's back and he's healthy, and, you know, the rehab went well. How much genie we get from Mane? I mean, money. I don't know, mate. I don't know if the club sells him or lets him run his contract down. Thoughts on the City game? I didn't watch it, Owen. If you're talking about the Arsenal City game, mate, I didn't watch it. I was fast asleep. I seen that it was 2-1, and I seen that Rodri scored in the 96th minute or something like that, which didn't surprise me. I heard there was some dodgy decisions though in that game, and again, I haven't watched it, so I'll watch Match of the Day later on. Do I think the title race is over for us, or can we catch up? I won't say it's over because I'll never give up, but I certainly wouldn't be laying any money on Liverpool to win the title. I mean, I've seen one of the bookies, I don't know which one it was. One of the bookies has already paid out at Manchester City, but you often get this for like PR purposes and stuff like that. I can't remember which, maybe it was like Betfred or one of them or something, I can't remember, but one of them have paid out anyway. If Chelsea and Liverpool draw, title race is over. Yeah, look, both teams are going to need to get a win. Well, there's no arguing with you on that. Not that I want to argue with you, my man, but yeah, I think both teams will be looking for a win. I don't think a draw is good for either one, which, yeah, makes it even more interesting. It'll be interesting to see the team selection for both. Well, I was going to say from both managers, but we know Klopp won't be on the sidelines. Why do you keep asking me free kicks or volleys? As in which one I prefer? Free kicks, better technique. Well, sometimes volleys can be good. Craig, hug or selfie with Klopp? Hug, don't care about pictures. I'll always know that I got a hug, so the hug, 100%. Jamrock said 18-19, Liverpool City, 32 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses, and Liverpool 30 wins, 7 draws, 1 loss, 1 point loss. I don't know what you mean by that, Jamrock, mate. There's too many numbers there for my hungover brain to calculate right now. When is Jude Bellingham going to play for the Reds? What's your prediction? I I think at the very earliest next summer, but even at that, I wouldn't be too confident, Linda. I think Bellingham probably stays another year at Dortmund and then maybe moves on. Jack said he feels for Bobby this season with injuries and COVID. Yep. It's just a mad time, isn't it? As Klopp said, it's like the lottery every day where you go in, see who's available and who isn't available. And we have to remember as well about all of these people, they have families to go home to, be it the players and the manager. So it must be, for all managers in the Premier League and all coaching staff right now and all the players, it must be an absolute nightmare to try and get the work done you need to do, to try and get trained, to try and get the tactics set out when you just don't know who's going to be available and who isn't. Jen, thank you for the super chat. I hope you're well and Merry New Year. Happy New Year, I should say, to you and your family. Good news, Craig. Good evening, Craig. She said, how are you this New Year? Happy New Year to you and the family. Do we know how bad Klopp is? I don't. All I know is what Liverpool put out there, which is that he has a suspected COVID case, which leads me to believe, Jen, that he probably gave back a positive antigen test and is now awaiting the results of a PCR test. But hopefully, with Kloppo and everybody who has COVID, regardless of whether they're a footballer or not, you just hope that that it has minimum impact on them and they're back healthy as soon as possible. Draws are almost as bad as losses when you lose 2 points. 100%, Jamrock, 100%. You probably psychologically think, oh, well, at least we did lose. But you're absolutely right. Over the course of a season, draws can be a huge hindrance in a title race. And, we've already had too many for my liking this season. And I'm sure you're probably the same. New Year's resolution. I'll lose weight. That's the only one. It's got to be to lose weight. That has to be the resolution for me. When are the FIFA streams? Well, Connor's away all weekend, as I said. So I am away myself to Lanzarote on Thursday. So probably try and squeeze one in on Wednesday before I go over on Twitch. So yeah, I will get one in before I go away, at least. But lots of work to do between now and then. As I said, I am going away for a week on Thursday, so should get one done on Wednesday. All going well. What's the best goal you've watched live? It's got to be one of Luis Suarez's. I was there for the 4 he scored against Norwich, but I was also there for the one he scored against Newcastle when he rounded Tim Krul with that lovely chested control. But I'd probably say one of the ones against Norwich in that absolute masterclass of a game from him. When will you do the selection and predictions? I've already said at the start of the video, there's no point in me trying to do a predicted 11 here. And with Connor away, it's nearly impossible to figure it out. But look, if you want me to have a bash at it, I did it at the start of the stream. I'll try again. So I'm going to go with no Alisson, obviously, tomorrow. So, well, it's reported no Alisson. So that will be Queevy and Kelleher in goal. No Robbo at left back because this is the last game of his 3-match suspension. So Costa Simicas, Trent on the right. And I don't really mind who partners Van Dijk. If it's Matip or if it's Canade, I'm happy either way. In midfield, I fully expect it to be the same three that started the last game. So Fabinho, Henderson, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Thiago still injured. Looks like Keita perhaps has COVID. So then up top again, you're looking at definitely Mane, Salah and Jota because it looks like Bobby's out. So yeah, that's the 11 that I think we'll go with. And as I said, 2-1 win would be my guess. Jack said Lucas was great on the stream yesterday. Thank you, my man. Probably saving his daddy. Although I do remember he mentioned Kim Jong-un at some point, which was, I don't know where that came from. Nat Phillips is injured, Mick. So Nat isn't available for the game. So yeah, Nat's out, and we know Thiago's out, and we know Elliot's out, and then with the lads who may have COVID. So yeah, unfortunately there'll be no Nat Phillips. What are my thoughts on Kessie as we've apparently offered him a contract? I'm unconvinced by Frank Kessie. He has the potential, definitely has the game to be a top player, but I just don't know if he's consistent enough from what I've seen. I'm not overly gone on Frank Kessie. And look, my question I suppose would be, if Frank Kessie wasn't leaving Milan on a free, would we be interested in him? And I would suggest the answer is probably no. And to me, that answers it. If we're only taking him because he's on a free, then no, I don't want him. I don't think he's good enough. I think there are better options for us. No, Naby wasn't in training that I've seen, mate. Not the latest ones. Milner up front. Yeah, no, that's just no. Do I think Liverpool will win anything this season? Yes, I do. I think we'll win the League Cup, and I think we have a great chance of winning the Champions League. But yeah, the league's looking a little bit beyond us, unfortunately. But we never give up because there's still time to go. Shadow Ninja says, as a neutral K, I want to say, love the content you do. And second of all, I think 1-1 draw for both of you. Well, thank you, my man. Really appreciate that. And look, a 1-1 draw, I know it sounds mad, but probably no use for either of us tomorrow for Chelsea or to Liverpool. Can you see us signing Cruz? Absolutely not a chance in hell. Why would we sign an over-the-hill Real Madrid midfielder? He was brilliant. Like, don't get me wrong, Toni Kroos is an excellent technician, but no. How's the head? It's not great, Lee. It's not great, buddy, I won't lie. Will Divock be back? Not for the game tomorrow, Owen. Unfortunately, no. He's still out. Can you unhide the stream? God, no. Not a chance I'm unhiding the stream, mate. Do I think Gordon will be on the bench? I don't know, Jack. Your guess is as good as mine. No, Origi isn't fit, Jen, unfortunately. So Origi's out, Thiago's out, Elliott's out, and then it looks like the lads with COVID are out. So if it's to be believed, the names that are going around, Alisson, Keita, Firmino, yeah. I don't have the lineup to show you, All-Star Gaming. I don't have one because Connor's not here. Connor's away in France. He's back tomorrow. He was over there with his girlfriend and he does all the graphics. So, yeah, I don't have any graphics for this one, my man. But I can go through the team again if you want, the one that I'm guessing with. Kelleher in goal, Trent at right back, Costas at left back, Van Dijk and one of Matip or Canade, don't mind who. Midfield, Fabinho, Henderson, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then up top, Mane, Jota, Salah. That's it. That's pretty much. Yeah, Takumi Minamino still out as well. Sorry, yes, forgot about Taki. He's still out. No, Robbo isn't back, unfortunately, mate. He would have been available for this game had the Leeds game not been postponed, but this will be the third match of his 3-game ban, unfortunately. We don't need any more moderators at the minute, my man. We're all good. Plus, we don't know how long, if or how long we'll still be doing lots of our content on YouTube. We may make that move across to Twitch. So we'll wait and see. Look, I'm going to go, but I will be back at 8:45 with Chris and with Paddy. And we'll dig deeper into the game tomorrow. We'll go through all the transfer rumours as well that have been put out there, including one about PSG having their eyes on Mohamed Salah if they hadn't have got Leo Messi. And yeah, look, I will see you at 8:45 tonight. I hope, again, Happy New Year to all of you out there. I hope it's one filled with love, happiness and prosperity. And don't forget, today's pre-match show was today's preview show was brought to you with Pitch, which is the ultimate fantasy football manager game, and you can download it entirely for free as long as you're a resident of the UK age 18 plus from the link in the description. Look, I will see you guys later on. Lots of love. Bye-bye.